a joke that was revealed. It's as if all your friends, all your acquaintances, everyone suddenly just found out that you were a hologram the whole time. And it was, and their reactions are recorded for a hidden camera TV show. Just kidding. Just kidding, folks. But now, imagine you are in stasis. You're in suspended animation. And you, the people, everyone you knew, they learned that your life in no way factors into their life anymore ever again. Not that you perished and were grieved for, but you were nullified. I think you would be very surprised to hear what your friends, quote unquote, say about you once you are taken out of the equation. Let me tell you something while you are picturing your life right now. When the chips start falling, you're going to be astonished to hear what people say about you or how fast they will turncoat on you. Now, everyone knows that when you are shunned, people stop talking to you. We get that. But you know, it's like when a teenage girl gets DF'd and for getting her boobs touched. Before it gets announced and it's official, her best friend will sit down with her and cry, and they'll say, "Oh, I'll come back in a year. I'll be back. I won't miss a meeting." When I was marked by the elders in a special needs marking talk, it was a special need. My friends had a slightly different reaction. As in, they reveled in it. Lifelong. People I knew forever, since birth. They were whistling a tune of, "I never liked him, and I knew he would never make it in the truth." Every asswipe I ever had to be around, every four-eyed, mealy-mouthed Uriah Heep I ever had to sit next to in a car group out in service, they got their chance to finally get their cheap shot in. And, folks, I know what it feels like to get kicked when you're down. I know what it feels like. I know all about friends turning into enemies. I could write the book on it. I've lived it, folks. I really have. You know, for a while, I was the punchline of all the jokes in the circuit. All the young people, I was the butt of their jokes. They laughed at me. My popularity took a nosedive. Getting marked will do that to you. And they had a field day. But you know what? I swallowed it. I took my punches and I kept going. I endured it. But until one day, I just came to the end of my rope. For months and months, I had been living through the persecution from the brothers. And I was tired. I was alone. I was always on the receiving end of what was being dished out. And at this point of exhaustion, I had another episode with a JW. That it just pushed my last button, friends. This one went too far for me. I got a knock on my door. Here we go again. Yeah! Again! Encore! I open the door and there's a relative of mine standing there. Not going to say who today. Just someone I'm related to. And he's standing there with a pen in one hand and a piece of paper in the other. It's the letter. Not the first time I had seen the letter. It had been left in my door 2 or 3 times with a little post-it note attached saying, "Please sign this." And I know some of you out there have signed it. And I'm not making aspersions as to your personal judgments. You're like, "Hey, I just wanted to get this finished." And I understand. But I can't do that. To me, it's an admission of guilt. And other people too. I know some have looked at it and said, "I can't sign that." It's a form letter. Used to be longer. They watered it down. But it used to be over a paragraph long. Similar to a confession that the Soviet Union used to get people to sign under duress. Just kidding. It's about, now they've got it down to about 2 sentences. You simply agree that you no longer want to be among the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. Here's the problem. You are tacitly acknowledging the authority of these deviants. Whereas I maintain there is no such thing as the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, one nation under God. It's a farce, and they keep getting people to play into it. And when they walk on stage and read a letter from you to the audience, admitting your guilt, it reinforces the legitimacy of Jehovah's organization. Even when people leave, they still recognize it's the truth. Anyway, my relative is standing there, and I can tell that he's been put up to this. He's sweating, he looks nervous, his voice is shaking, and he tries to hand me this piece of paper, and he says, "I've already filled this out. All you have to do is write your name, and it'll be over." And I said, "You want me to be over? I thought you liked me. You want me to end?" And he said, "Please, I just need to know where you stand before Jehovah." And I said, "There's only one problem, Slick. That ain't my handwriting, it's yours. Do you think affixing my name to the bottom of it will change the fact that you wrote it? On Judgment Day, do you think I'm going to answer for that? If Jehovah holds up the letter and says, 'What is the meaning of this?' I'm going to say, 'That ain't my stationery.' And I'm guessing there's a big stack of those in your inbox, and I'm guessing they can all be traced back to the Kingdom Hall, God. Is this too outrageous for you? A religion that pressures people to fill out forms renouncing their faith, and then they collect them and put them in file folders? Is this too far out for you? I know that there are worldly people here with us right now. Some of you watching this video are worldly. It's all right. Remain seated. Maybe you are studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. Maybe you have relatives that are JWs and you are curious. Well, guess what? I have good news for you. This is the last one of these strange videos you ever gotta watch. Last one. Last thing you ever need to know or hear about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's from the Watchtower. This is not something I've cooked up. This is Watchtower magazine. It's from page 8 of the July 1879 edition of Watchtower Mag. I love it! That was a good edition. It had a very creative article about blueberry muffins in it. This particular edition of Watchtower had a quote from Pastor Charles Taze Russell, the man who founded Jehovah's Witnesses. And he had some very optimistic news for us. He said that a truth presented by Satan, the devil himself, is just as true as a truth presented by God. By the way, this is the same Satan that the Bible says is a liar and a manslayer, seeking to devour you. But the man who invented Jehovah's Witnesses had an idea for a new religion. This was a new thing. You take the teachings of Satan and the teachings of God, and you mix them together, and you have the truth. Trademark. Copyright. Now, I don't know what your connection to all of this is, but can I give you some free advice? Get as far away from Jehovah's Witnesses as you can. Sever whatever ties you got going on and get out of here. If JWs ever try to come around your kids, call the police. If you live next door to JWs, move. Get out of there! Get out! You want to know what's really going on with me? It's the big 3-0. I was approaching 30 and I was taking stock of my life. And what I saw, I didn't like. I saw a generic empty suit on a long road to nowhere. Why did I do it? Why did I try to get an elder disfellowshipped when I knew I couldn't win, I knew it wouldn't work, and I knew it would cost me my entire world? If this was a Bible story, God would have jumped in at the last second and saved the day. I guess I wanted something to happen. I was trying to force the issue. But as usual, Big J was a no-show, which is odd, considering that he is the preeminent being of the universe, but he never does anything. He never does any miracles. Well, that's not so. Jehovah gives us the miracle of field service and the reward of finding interested ones. I know. Did Jehovah ever answer you guys' prayers? He never answered mine. Or anyone's. Or anyone I ever knew. He never answered anyone's prayers. Prayers do get answered. Just not always in the way we think. Sometimes it's through the timely articles in Watchtower and Awake magazine. At this point in my life, I finally gave up. I stopped caring. I stopped wondering. No more God, no more Bible, no more watchtowers, no more living forever in paradise on earth. I quit making myself believe in fairy tales. It's like when a teenage girl gets DF'd and for getting her boobs touched. Before it gets announced and it's official, her best friend will sit down with her and cry, and they'll say, Oh, I'll come back in a year. I'll be back. I won't miss a meeting. When I was marked by the elders in a special needs marking talk, it was a special need out of the equation. Let me tell you something while you are picturing your life right now. When the chips start falling, you're going to be astonished to hear what people say about you or how fast they will turncoat on you. Now, everyone knows that when you are shunned, people stop talking to you. We get that. But you know, in suspended animation, and the people, everyone you knew, they learned that your life in no way factors into their life anymore ever again. Not that you perished and were grieved for, but you were nullified. I think you would be very surprised to hear what your friends, quote unquote, say about you once you are taken out. My friends had a slightly different reaction, as in they reveled in it. Lifelong people I knew forever, since birth, they were whistling a tune of I never liked him and I knew he would never make it in the truth. Every asswipe I ever had to be around, every four-eyed meal was a joke that was revealed. It's as if all your friends, all your acquaintances, everyone suddenly just found out that you were a hologram the whole time. And it was, and their reactions are recorded for a hidden camera TV show. Just kidding. Just kidding, folks. But now, imagine you are in stasis. You're